Hello BookTube, and welcome to your daily science fiction magazine. Today is Astounding Science Fiction, and this is May 1951. Astounding Science Fiction started as Astounding Stories in 1930 with the editor Harry Bates, who was the author of Farewell the Master, which was the basis for the 1950s classic Day the Earth Stood Still. Now, he did not last long as the editor. There were some changes. Orland Tremaine took over for most of the 30s, and then John W. Campbell took over in 1937-38, ushered in the golden age of science fiction. He stayed editor. He changed the name to Astounding Science Fiction, and then later to Analog. He died suddenly in 1971 while still being editor. Ben Bova took over till the late 70s, and then Stanley Schmidt took over to well into the 2000s. I'm not sure who the current editor is at the moment, but it's still being published. In here, there are two novelettes, Galactic Gadgeteers by Harry Stein, and that, as far as I can tell, is G. Harry Stein, who was a rocketry pioneer, and he wrote science fiction and fiction, non-fiction books under a pseudonym at times, but he also wrote, I think later, some Star Trek novels. And there's also the novelette Izzard and the Membrane by Walter M. Miller Jr., who is famed for his fix-up novel, Canticle for Leibowitz. And there's three short stories. There's Success Story by Julian Chain. Don't know much about him. It is a pseudonym, but not. He's been erroneously associated with Julian May, but I know nothing about him. Another author, J.A. Meyer, for the next story, Guess Again. I did a quick search online and I couldn't find anything about him. And then there's H.B. Fife, Key Decision. He was a regular in Astounding and other magazines up until 1960. He wrote about 60 short stories, and a lot of them had to do with sort of humans outwitting bureaucratic aliens. And a series of stories that Campbell liked was The Bureau of Slick Tricks. Now, in this issue as well, there are science articles, clipper ships of space, and the Argon heavy water reactor. There are the editor, every issue, John W. Campbell, at this time, well, he wrote a short editorial, less than 2 pages. It's double columned. As you can see, this one is conservatism, and he had pet peeves. He had hobby horses that he would sort of write about, a lot to do with sort of mental powers, telepathy, that type of thing, sociology. And there's readers, like there's readers' letters. There's also a section where it's called the analytical laboratory, where he would where the readers would rate previous stories, so they'd be rated the stories in previous issues, like up until the best story in that issue. There's book reviews, and let's see. Just going to go to the book review page. There's book reviews: The Castle of Iron by Fletcher Pratt and Elsbreg de Camp. Yesterday we saw Fletcher Pratt in the Thrilling Wonder stories, and let's see, other ones that you may know. A very good science fiction collection, The Big Book of Science Fiction, edited by Groff Conklin. Ralph 1224, Ralph 124C 41 Plus by Hugo Gernsback, a tedious novel but interesting. And then there's The Genus Homo by Elsbreg de Camp and P. Schiller Miller. Voyage of the Space Beagle, fix-up novel by A.E. Van Vogt. And the letters, I think there's a letter from James Blish in here. Yes, there's a letter from James Blish. There are line drawings all throughout. and it's just a fabulous magazine with interesting stories and forgotten stories. So that's today's science fiction, your daily science fiction magazine, and I'll have another one tomorrow. Take care, BookTube.